Hola, welcome to Building Conversations with Girls and Civil. We're bringing you conversations on civil engineering, construction, and personal and professional growth to the stories of women shaping the industry. Real talk, real experiences, and maybe a few laughs along the way. Let's start building. So, welcome everybody to a new podcast episode of Building Conversations with Girls in Civil. And today we have a special guest with us. Her name is Jada Arocho. She works as a fire protection engineer with expertise in designing fire suppression and alarm systems and conducting life safety analysis across sectors like healthcare, education, technology. She's an Afro-Latina advocate and proud STEM professional. Jada's journey began in Puerto Rico, where she was raised in a single mother household. Displaced by the Hurricane Maria in 2017, she moved to Chicago, completing her mechanical engineering degree at the University of Illinois at Chicago in 2021. Inspired by her own challenges navigating limited resources and mentorship, Jada now dedicates her career and online presence to empowering women of color in STEM. Through public speaking, social media, and workshops, she works to bridge gaps in representation and support others on their path to success. So, if that didn't impress you, I don't know what will. So, I'm so excited to have you here with us and just talk a little bit more about your experiences in general. So, if you just want to say something about yourself, I just gave a lot of introduction, but what about you?
I first off, I appreciate you the invite and for having me. Thank you so much once more. It's a pleasure. We've been collaborating for a while, so it's just a full circle. I'm very excited to be here sharing space with you. And like you've mentioned, you kind of went through a lot in that little introduction there. I think what's left to say is that I tend to be a very outspoken person. And I think like throughout the years, I've learned how to use that to my advantage because for the longest time, I felt like almost people wanted to dim my light in that front, and it's like I've always been outspoken, so I'm very happy that I've been able to find a way to channel that outspokenness and help not only myself but my community as well.
Oh,
So
yes, that sounds amazing because sometimes we're just like we're not feel comfortable like just being out there and putting ourselves out there, and also like just being like women in the industry is a lot
yes.
difficult for us to find someone that we can look up to. So I'm so excited that we're here to talk a little bit more about just shaping the industry and how we can be a great advocate for others or like advocate as women in this in like industry. So we're just gonna have a nice conversation about this. So we can start with just if you can, what role do you like mentorship and sponsorship play in improving diversity?
I think that mentorship and sponsorship play a critical point when it comes to improving, right, diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially in underrepresented fields such as STEM, especially the representation of women within the STEM space. There should be just a quick definition, a quick differentiation of what mentorship and sponsorship means, because I've found in a day-to-day conversation that there's almost people think that are the same, but they're slightly different, and understanding that difference can help you tremendously when you're looking for mentors and sponsors in your life as a whole. So I think that for a mentor, whenever I'm looking for a mentor, it's almost like I'm looking for someone who's already doing either the same thing that I want to do, or it's someone that's doing something similar, or not necessarily everything, but something that I want, or do I want to get to that point? And I reach out to a mentor looking for guidance, looking to develop my skills, to help me build my confidence, to help me have visibility, or to help me almost be like a sounding board. It's almost like this person will help you get where you want to go, but then a sponsor will be the person that advocates for you, that offers you access to a network, to opportunities, or even career growth as well. So I think like while they might sound similar, I think that having the understanding of what is the role of each in your career is very important to understand what type of support you might need depending on the time or the person as well.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Like just me even hearing about the difference in general, because you kind of feel like it's the same thing, because you're always like, oh yeah, I'll just look for someone that can help me. That's it. But no, sometimes you need a mentor, but sometimes maybe you need someone to help you with that sponsorship, like play or
Correct.
whatever. So I love that you can like kind of define it a lot better, so you can position yourself in that process of where you want to go, what you want to do in that moment. So have you seen any like firsthand how this relationship empower women in the field?
Yeah, I know firsthand how that has helped me actually. Understanding the difference of having a mentor versus having a sponsor has expedited my career in the past, I would say, year or so. I thought for the longest time, I thought that they were the same. But once I kind of something clicked on my brain, I said, wait a minute. My mentor might not be necessarily my sponsor, and my sponsor might not be necessarily my mentor. And the moment that I kind of connected those dots and I started looking for people kind of with that in mind, the doors that has opened of opportunities, exposure, network has been just between you and me and the listeners. It's been ridiculous. So I would say to whoever looks, I will highly, highly encourage anyone who's listening to please start thinking of this like difference and then which people in your life might offer this type of support in your career.
Yeah, and I think also specifically as women in the industry, it's so nice to have someone that can help you a little bit, guide you through that process, or like even help you through that process. It does help you like, oh, if she's doing it, I can also do it too. Or even like if she can help me with this process, maybe that's not that difficult, or just
Yes.
like a path of how you get
Yes.
there.
Absolutely. I think that especially us as women, I also work in the design and construction industry. I think it's very male, as you know, male dominated and not the most diverse in all aspects, I would say. So having that support or having that blueprint from other women, women of color, or other underrepresented demographics, I think it's important. And I've found that even I haven't found yet a person that I reach out to and ask for help, and they have said no. So I would kind of encourage everyone to, even if you're scared or intimidated, to still ask, because the worst thing that they might say is no, and you will survive a no.
And a lot of people are just like, maybe I don't know it, but I'll look for someone else that knows it. So that's
Correct.
something that I've done a lot. A lot. I've heard so many like young individuals, and they're like coming to me, and I'm like, I don't know the answer, but maybe I could give you to someone that knows the answer. So I
Exactly.
think
Being that
it's
bridge is
important.
also very important.
Exactly. So, talking about like being that person, how has like self advocacy influenced your career journey?
I think it has helped me to find a voice in this space. Um, for the longest time I felt very alienated because I'm the for the longest time I was the only one who looked like me in the rooms that I navigated. So it's like, and it took me a while to understand that my journey is not the same as others, and others' journey is just not the same as mine, and it is what it is. But kind of starting developing that muscle of advocating has helped first developing or nurturing that inner voice. And it's like a muscle. It's like the more you practice it, it gets easier. At the beginning it was just very hard to be able to verbalize, hey, I'm doing this, or hey, I don't think this is right, let's work it out this way. It kind of took a lot of trial and error because I tend to be more of in my personal life I tend to be a very blunt person, and that can rub some feathers. I learned real quick. So it's like, but in that process, I'm grateful for that process, because if I didn't kind of make those mistakes, I wouldn't learn what works best for me, second what my voice is, and to help expediting my career, self advocacy, just taking a step back in a 10,000 square feet zoom out version. It has helped with my career growth. It has helped, excuse me, creating connections, growing my network, and by just representing, because I'm talking not only for myself, but it's also for the people who look like me, or people that come from different identities that I identify to. So it's definitely playing for the team while I also play for myself.
Exactly. And I will say, when I graduated and I started my first job, I was surrounded by old women, and it felt so weird. I was like, I'm not
Yes.
used to being surrounded by so many women in the industry. So I felt like so grateful in that moment to be able to have those type of relationships just starting out. So and a lot of them were like always telling me like, no, you have to advocate for yourself. That's the first step into getting into those places, because you want to keep going, and obviously you're gonna start like seeing some opportunities that come your way, but you have to take them. You have to like risk it all and be like, maybe this is gonna be for me, but if you don't take it, you're not gonna know. So I was like, at first I was a little bit scared, because I was like, oh my god, I don't know a lot about the industry, or I don't know about, and that's, I think, a lot of what we do to ourselves. We're like, no, I don't know it, so I'm not even gonna try it. And I'm like, no, that's why you should try it. just
Exactly.
just putting yourself in those places, and like when you feel like you did it for yourself, it feels a lot better. You're like, yes, I did that. I put myself there. So I feel like obviously it has opened doors, opportunities, but also like professionally and personally. Do you have any experience that you would like to share more?
Sure. I think on the professional aspect, it has helped kind of solidify my brand. Collaborating and creating connections with other, STEM content creators like you ladies, for example, in Girls in Civil. Definitely with other professionals. I reached out to another podcast host about fire protection. I was like, oh, when I first joined the industry 3 years ago, and I was like, oh, I'm very curious because I'm just starting in the industry, and your podcast has helped a lot. It was genuinely like a thank you for putting that work out there. And the person was like, wow, I'm so impressed. And like that kind of led a conversation. And that led me into getting invited to the podcast. It's like it has helped, at least on the personal aspect, kind of developing those relationships. And on the personal front, it has helped me get placed in projects that I'm interested in participating, which has, not only expanded my portfolio, but it has truly built my technical knowledge, because I am able 3 years into my career to say that I've touched several markets in the commercial industry. So it's just it's humbling to see in hindsight all the opportunities, not only career and personal, and pretty much in everything, that developing that inner voice and advocating, excuse me, for myself has done to me.
Oh, totally. And like, especially, at least for me professionally, it has helped me a lot in terms of like, I want to be on those places, as I've mentioned before. I've been to like conferences, or maybe like even like dinners with other individuals. I was just talking to one of the younger folks in my team, and I was like, yeah, you just have to go. You have to put yourself out there. And if you don't
Yes.
know, just obviously ask someone else to go with you. And that person can introduce you to the persons that they know. Or it's okay if you don't know it. Just ask the question. Just be mindful of what you're doing, obviously, but it's so nice to be able to do those things just for yourself.
Yes.
It has helped me grow a lot as a person personally and professionally. It's just one thing led to another, and it just helps you grow in general. So I love that. And going into that, what advice would you give to someone who feels like maybe isolated as the few women in their workplace?
Hmm, I would say remind yourself of your purpose. And if you don't have a purpose defined, I would invite you to start thinking what your purpose is. At least that has helped me get grounded of why am I doing what I am. That will be the first thing that I would say. The second, it will be try to find allies that might, you can lean on and say, hey, I see that, I'm the only one that looks like me. I'm just interested in first getting that, well-rounded advice, but also how we can include or be more mindful of trying to include people that are, as competent, but also are from diverse backgrounds. Can we, look in other pools that look, for identities that, are similar to mine? And excuse me, definitely those two things I would say. And the third one, find community, even if it's not inside of your organization, try to make the effort to look. It can be online. It can be a local community. It can be a professional association that is related to your industry. It might be a female related type of organization. So it's like try to look for communities that you identify with and try to find your people in there if it's something that you need to focus outside of your organization.
Oh my God, yes. I think that's why we started Gross and Civil. We were just looking for that community. So I love that you brought it up, just being able to talk to other people and be like, yes, I'm struggling with this too. And it's okay. It's okay to talk
Yes.
about our struggles, talk about what we're going through, and how we can just like maybe keep each other accountable, or just talk and just be able to feel like, oh my God, it's not just me, it's everybody else. There's a lot of other people going through the same
Yes.
thing.
It's not a solo not effort, but it's not a solo experience that you are having. And I think it's now, especially in this digital, excuse me, era, I think it's important, and I would argue it's even more important to put the struggles out there, because it's so easy in this digital era to get misled of the glossy aspect of, it's so easy to just highlight the highs and just not show the lows or the craziness that happens behind the scene. It's like I think it's more important, and that's part of the reason that I started kind of sharing my story and sharing kind of my digital blueprint, because I was like, there's no way that for me to get where I'm at, it has taken a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I just don't want other people that are going through similar things that say, oh, I am the only one in the struggle bus, I'm just gonna quit. It's like, I've been in the struggle bus before, and I can show you that I'm in the other side now. That's pretty much the why, my why.
Oh my God, yes. And I've seen your videos and I feel like so related to some of them. And I've seen it in terms of like, oh, you're taking the EIT. And I'm like, I feel the same way. I'm in the same boat as you. So it feels so nice to be able to see the content that you're creating in terms of like how raw, how like it's and at the point it's taking where you need to be talking about topics about like being a woman of color in the industry. That's another thing that I've seen you talked about, and just have been like struggles that you have worked on a lot. So I think it's really nice. And you also gave a little bit of a topic about your purpose. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a we go deep real quick here. Whoo, no, I'm
Exactly. I
kidding.
was like, when I heard you, I was like, oh my God, I want to know more.
Yeah, no, my purpose is to inspire others to be and stay curious, and I do that by following my curiosity. I think that the common denominator for me throughout my life in hindsight has been curiosity. Just for context, and as you mentioned in my bio, I was, raised in a single mother household, and for the longest time it was only the two of us, and my mom had me very young. She had me when she was 18, so she just graduated high school, so we pretty much went to college together. She's first generation. She was the first that went to college. She also holds a civil engineering degree, so that was the first engineer in my life. And seeing her also getting kind of forced out of the workforce for not having the support that she needed by being a woman in the first generation in the industry, that rubbed my feathers in a way that is just like, I am showing up as the person that my mom needed when she was at this stage in her career.
Oh wow, that's so deep and I love
Yeah.
it. It
Yeah.
feels like, oh my God, that's a huge purpose, and I'm glad that you're going that way because a lot of people need you and we need those type of women in the industry. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. And what's your purpose? Now I'm like, what is your purpose?
Well, if I'm being totally honest, sometimes like just thinking about a purpose, it feels like a huge big thing that you want to do. But I was just having like a conversation about this not too long ago, and I feel like I'm just as you. I love being curious. I love asking questions. I'm gonna be that person. Like if you don't like if I don't know
Yes.
it, I'm gonna ask all the questions until I do.
Yes.
So being like that also for me, it's more about like sharing the knowledge with other people. I always, when I learn something, I'm gonna share it with other people. That's what I also like about social media because you can share anything, and you're like,
Yes.
if they don't want to see it, I don't care. I'm sharing it out there. Maybe someone's gonna like it or someone is not. So for me, my purpose is more about sharing my knowledge and what I can do to others. I started like not too long ago, like being more of a mentor to other and like younger engineers. And that has been so much fun. Just being able to share what I know. It also makes me feel a lot more like, oh, I know a lot. So it's not like
Yes.
just like, oh my God, I know a lot about what I do and not just about professionally, but personally. I'm just like sharing everything that I know. So I think for
Yes.
me, it's just that type of path that I want to grow into. And obviously, I'm just starting. So for me, it's more like, oh, it's kind of cool. I still have a lot to learn and a lot to share to other people. So yeah, I think that's just pretty cool. Just being able to be that person to someone else because
Uh,
sometimes we
yes.
love to I'm trying to look for someone. So just being that person for other people is kind of nice.
And that was actually my next question for you. Like, how does it feel to be in the position now that you are paying it forward? Because it has, I'm just curious.
I think it feels kind of weird sometimes, but it does feel good in terms of like I know I think I give the like that kind of feeling to people that they can come to me with any question. And that's what I do feel comfortable. But because I know that a lot of people, when you ask those questions, they look like at you like weird. Like, why
Yes.
are you asking that question? And
Yes.
I love that people feel comfortable just being able to come to me and be like, "Oh my God, I think this is a dumb question, but I need to know the answer." And I know you're not gonna look at me like that.
You're not going to
So
judge me. That's so
exact
important.
exactly. So that's why I'm like, if I have to repeat it to you for 1,000 times, I don't care. And um stuff like, for example, like with other like women engineers, I also love just like being there and just like, yeah, you maybe need to go through this or you need to go through that to do this. And that's why I ask the questions because I'm like, I'm getting all the knowledge that I can. So I
Yes.
can pay it forward.
Oh, 100%. I love that. I love that.
So maybe let's talk a little bit more about how we can stay motivated and advocate for that change.
That's a
It's a big
good one.
question.
Yeah. So I think, well, maybe this is I don't know if it's a hot take or unpopular, but I'm gonna say it. I don't rely as much on motivation as I rely on discipline. I know, for example, And I'm gonna be very transparent. I've been in positions in these past 3 years that I hesitate. Do I stay in the engineering? Because I'm not gonna be kind of sugar coated. This industry is a tough one. Being a woman in engineering is tough. It's tough, and I'm gonna, I think that's not a secret. So, and I've been instances in these past 3 years that I'm like, do I really need to be here? What am I doing here? And I've decided to stay because it's like, okay, why did I start it? What is my purpose? Why am I here? Kind of leaning into that and having the discipline just to stick it out. I don't know. It might not be the great answer or the most like motivational, but I think I'm trying to be real about it. I think I don't these days rely a lot on motivation. I'm just staying consistent and I'm relying on discipline. If you understand your purpose, if you understand why you're here, that will help you in the days that are bad and you just want to say, you know, screw it. I don't want to deal with this. Yeah, I don't want to deal with this. I think that, that's important to say it out loud, because for the longest time I kept seeing all these role models and people that I look up to, and just being able to, stay motivated, say that, but that does not work for me. Help me. So this is advice that I wish I heard when I was younger. And I would say that it's your right to take up space in areas, in spaces, in rooms that are not meant to be for you systematically. The system that we navigate is not meant nor designed for people that are from underserved backgrounds. So I think it's important that you recognize that and you understand the system that you're navigating, period.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, it's difficult to take that space up, and just being a minority, it's a little bit more. You feel like you shouldn't speak too loud, or you're
Yes.
not making that much noise, or like being too dramatic, or like when they say women are just, yeah, you're just being too dramatic, or you're doing stuff.
You're
So
being
it's kind
emotional,
it's
or
so
oof,
it's
that
kind of
rubs me
difficult
the wrong way.
sometimes to kind of figure out
Yes.
how do you want to show up in those places. So
Yes.
I love that you're like, yeah, discipline, or just being yourself, taking that space, knowing what you want. And it's okay. We don't need to know what we want in general. And if some people are listening in and you're like, I don't know what my purpose is, it's okay. We'll figure it
Yes.
out together. If you feel lost, if you wanna just have a little bit of guidance, there's someone always out there to help you guys. And you
Yes.
can follow Jada and you can follow us as Ghost and Civil. So we
Absolutely.
can help you.
Yes.
Oh my God, I've really enjoyed a lot of our conversation. Just it feels so genuine, and just like being able to just talk a little bit more about our experiences, and being as a woman in engineering, diversity, and just setting up those like places that we want to grow into. So, any last things that you want to say to our audience, our podcasters?
Absolutely. I think that you deserve to take as much space as you want. And it's important more than ever that you are unapologetically yourself. Don't be afraid to speak up. I understand that it might be intimidating, excuse me, but don't be afraid to speak up. Please speak up. If there's people less capable, less smart than you, pretending that they know what they're doing and they're succeeding, what are you having to lose? You're already more prepared, more capable, smarter. Come on now, more resourceful. Don't let in a world that it's not meant for us to exist and to navigate, don't be the first one to put the foot on the door. Don't be the one that puts the ceiling on yourself. Don't be that person. In a world that is not meant for us, don't be that person. Don't say to yourself no before the world does.
Period. take that into consideration, everybody. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for
We
having
wish
me.
you all the best in everything that you do. And also, I think you have a podcast that you wanted to share a little bit or not.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that. We do have a podcast. It's called Pa Bajarle. I co-share space with my co-host Vero. We are two ambitious Puerto Rican gals that are talking about our journeys and trying to share our blueprint in Spanish. We thought that it would be just meaningful to offer these same valuable information to our Spanish speaker folks, just to make sure that we're loud, clear, and concise about how to get from point A to point B. And we just do it in a funny way and with a lot of Puerto Rican sayings and just unhingedness. So it's just thank you for that. I hope to hang out in our space in Palo Harle. And again, thank you so much for inviting me. It has been a very delightful conversation to have with you today.
Well, thank you. And thank you guys for listening in. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Bye.